thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be. Mr. Wilson would've known. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me. So good to me. Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me. So good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be. Mr. Wilson would've known. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me. So good to me. Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me. So good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be. Mr. Wilson would've known. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me. So good to me. Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me. So good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be. Mr. Wilson would've known. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me. So good to me. Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me. So good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be. Mr. Wilson would've known. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me. So good to me. Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me. So good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be. Mr. Wilson would've known. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me. So good to me. Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me. So good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side.
Shabbat Shalom, Yasharala. How's everybody doing? All praises, that's what's up. Got no option, right? Well, we got many options according to, us nowadays. Love you, sis. Have a blessed Sabbath. I hope that, this evening, this lesson goes and reaches all those that it needs to reach. The name of the lesson this evening is Put in Your Own Brick. Put in your own brick. All right. So we're gonna open up with the book of Philippians 2:2. My name's Asna Pash and got the brother, the deacon here, Aman Allah. And this is room 144. Please go ahead, subscribe. If you're not subscribed, like and share so we could get this gospel out, so we could get the good message out to our people, so we could get up out of here. Most high willing, because that's the whole point. If you guys understand the Bible, that's why we're here. That's why is ignorant and then it's crazy because it becomes convenience to our so-called Christian people out in the world that they talk about it's all about the faith. But the scriptures themselves say faith without works is dead, right? So that's what we're gonna go into this evening. Go ahead, Ak, whenever you have it, go ahead and get Philippians 2 and read verse 12.
Philippians 2 and 12.
Mhm.
Wherefore, my beloved,
Uh-huh.
as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence.
Okay, so let's break this down, right? So this is our forefathers. These are the apostles. These are the brothers that were setting up the churches after Christ gave them that command, right? And like I've said many times, I'm just bringing it out, and I try to bring it out as much as possible so we could understand this has been the duty of men, of Israelite men and women from the beginning, right? The Most High found us fit, found our forefather Abram fit, and then he went ahead and made a covenant with Abram, Isaac, and Jacob. From those three brothers, right, come the 12 tribes, which is, all the 12 tribes that are scattered abroad nowadays throughout the diasporas that we face due to our disobedience. So this is the message for our people. It was that back in the days of Moses. Is the same message here that we're reading in the book of Philippians, and it's the same message right now, 720 what 4:20:26. So it said, read it from the top again.
Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed.
So he's talking to Israel, right? My beloved, my dear brothers and sisters, right? You think it's all Israel that he's talking to? It's a simple not all Israel, right? You have Pharisees, you have Sadducees, you even had just general Israelites at that time that were not down with the program, that were not committed or even believed in Christ. So here he's talking to those that have gathered, that are in his presence, right? That are actually trying to make the works a thing, something that they're gonna go ahead and take on, right, in their own lives. So this is the message for them. It says, wherefore, my beloved, and they've been proven, obviously, because he's telling them this, as ye have always obeyed. So these are obedient Israelites. And now it says, not as in my presence only, but what?
But now much more in my absence.
Now much more in my absence. Why is he saying much more in my absence? What happens when we go and leave the room, when we leave the congregation, right? When we leave other brothers that are, of the same mind? We see all these distractions out there, right? He's talking to brothers that are scattered. The diaspora's already gone down, right? This is the Philippians, right? So they're one of the many churches scattered. This message is given to every single church that he would address, every single Israelite that he would come across, because it was beyond just the churches. These were establishments that, all praises to the Most High, they were able to, set up. But everywhere he went, he was giving the same message. But at the same time, he wasn't ignorant. He understood, because when you read the letters, when you read the epistles, when you read from beginning to end, you understand how the Most High says, listen, if people reject you, shake it off, dust it off, and keep it pushing. Sometimes love, and I'm talking about the worldly love, right? The love that we know, the love that we actually focus on, that we've been focused on for the longest, because the love according to scriptures is keeping of the commandments. But the love that we be having, sometimes the love that we have for people, we let the love overpower us instead of seeing the truth and the reality of certain individuals. Here with the Most High, we can't do that. We're not supposed to do that in general. Other nations don't do that. They see righteous for what it is, and they see wickedness for what it is. And I'm talking about, countries out there still in the old world for the most part. But that's the point with this. The Most High gave us this understanding for us to understand. Listen, this is who we're dealing with. Not all Israel is Israel, right? The brother said, beloved, you that have been proven to be obedient. Don't be obedient now just in my presence, but the more in my absence, because that's when Satan comes through. Because when two or more are gathered, the Most High is there, right? Two or more righteous Israelites, the Most High is there. But Satan's also plotting. We read it in Job. Where you been at? Where you coming from? To and fro. Just doing what I do. Trying to see who I could tempt, trying to see who could slip up, and trying to see who I could gain. So if we read these scriptures and we understand them, we believe them, we got to understand, you know what? Yeah, the Most High is present. But the fact that you are trying to do right, you're trying to go back, right, to being obedient. Who do you think Satan's going to be around the most? Who do you think Satan's going to have eyes on? That's why you see issue after issue after issue. You get rid of one issue, whether it's amongst brothers, whether it's amongst a marriage, whether it's amongst a congregation or a nation, you'd be like, man, all praises. Then all of a sudden, it like multiplies. Spirits multiply. Sometimes you even get hit with it yourself, like, oh, hold up. That's why you got to be vigilant. 1 Peter 5:8, right? Be vigilant, be sober. Sober meaning be on point. We out here just lollygagging, just space cadets. Things be happening right in front of us, and we just be zoned out, daydreaming that we don't even realize. Most High's like, nah, I'm not dealing with you like that. You're going to get got. If you're on that type of time, you are going to get got. But then again, guess what? We've allowed technology. We've allowed all these devices and distractions, entertainment, take the true nature of what we're supposed to be. And it's sad, but then again, it's a choice. We've made it. And by we, I mean those individuals that rather be, hey, you know what it is, it's not that serious. If I get in trouble, all I got to do is dial 911. But yeah, you out there knowing that when you dial 911, more than likely things ain't going to go too well, right? But at the, in the moment, and that's also, when you look at it, it's slothfulness. We have a slothful spirit in many of the things that are vital for our success, right? So he's saying, the more in my absence, go ahead.
But now much more in my absence. Work out your own salvation.
Do what?
Work out your own salvation.
Just sit back and relax and watch it come down from heaven.
Work out your own salvation.
It says work out, right? Work out your own salvation. So let's break this down real quick before I continue. So it says more in my absence, right? So what that means is always staying in compliance. We can't be Israelites in front of other Israelites, and then as soon as they disappear, we go back to our old ways, right? We go back to ways that nobody even knows of us. That's a double-minded individual. Then you wonder why your life is complete chaos, because guess what? The scriptures tell you. The scriptures do not lie. It says a double-minded individual is going to be what? Unstable. We're talking about bricks right here, right? Putting your own brick by brick. When you do things slowly, you plan them out. You go ahead and make sure you have a plan and you continue to execute. You wake up. It's better for you to wake up and do a 30-minute walk than to just be thinking about it, organizing the whole year. This whole big old plan, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, then I'm going to do a couple of sets. But if you stay consistent and you build your way up, it's that pattern of good works. When you have that pattern of good works, guess what? Things become easier. It's like they call it muscle memory, right? Muscle memory is in a lot of the things that we do. You wake up, you see older folks, they wake up at a certain time with no alarm. Why? Because they've gotten used to that. They probably got that from their forefathers. And their forefathers got it from their forefathers. And guess what? They came all the way back to Proverbs 31. I like to go to Proverbs 31 because the sister was up before the sun. Husband was ready, done, fed, out on the field. If you know about that type of life, you know how that looks. Right now, the sun is coming up at about, 5:15, 5:30 maybe? So that means the sister was ready and going about 4 o'clock or so. But guess what? The earlier, the better. Brother probably went ahead and did his thing. The sister did her thing. Guess what? Come midday, they have the whole rest of the day to do what they need to do, which is what we love to do without the work, though. We love to wake up 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock. Got slippers, got some pantuflas. You looking all ratchet in the middle of the street. Eye boogers on your face, hair all jacked up, right? To trying to figure it out. Going to McDonald's to get you a quick meal. That's crazy. But that's unfortunately where we at nowadays. When in the scriptures it tells you, look, a virtuous woman deals like this. That means it's a virtuous household. That's Israel. That's what Israel's supposed to be. Sanctified, different from everybody. When you look at these things, I remember back in the day, we were in Peru with the elder, right? It was 5 a.m. It's cold. Peru, the Andes, right? We in Cusco, which is right down the street from Machu Picchu. They're 80-year-old men and women herding, being what we were according to scriptures, right? They got their goats, their lambs, they're walking straight, posture on point. You know, they're eating the herbs. They call it mate. They don't really drink coffee out there, where the cocaine comes from. They got the leaves, all natural. Yeah, the yerba mate, they're going ahead and either chewing on it or drinking their tea. But guess what? It's 5 a.m, 80 plus. No excuses. And you'd be like, damn, 80, why are they not relaxing? Because guess what? That is relaxing to them. When you start thinking different and when you see success, that is relaxing. Because guess what? You're getting your things done. You feel useful. You're not useless. People that have that in them, not doing nothing, feels like, man, what am I even here for? You low-key start fading away. That's why it's necessary for you to, maintain your physical, maintain your health, maintain that righteous mind. Because then guess what? I'm looking at a brother here. I've met him for what? How many? Like since 2013, perhaps? Man, over a decade. Over 2 decades. No, over a decade, right? About 13, 14, 15 years. Same routine, right? See sister here. See the other sister here. Same family. They on that. Why? Because guess what? That's what gives you life. You look at it when you're burnt out, but you go ahead and do a little quick walk, right? Instead of going for them energy drinks. We like the lazy fix. We like the quicker picker uppers, but it's like, then you got the down. Then you have the side effects. Mentally, you messed up. You know? You look at coffee, man. Coffee, the way people drink coffee nowadays, you just drinking a whole bunch of sugar and caffeine. Nothing natural. Hardly anything is natural nowadays. But guess what? These are the things that we forgot about. You may be like, what was that guy? It all connects. That's the point. Work. We're talking about work, right? Let me read this right quick in regards to bricks, just so we could get this out the way. There's what it says. And it's not just bricks, but it's pretty much any building material. If you know about construction, if you know about rebars, center blocks, you know about, wood, you know about certain woods for certain situations, you know about steel, everything needs to reach a standard, right? Be at a certain code, standard, right? There's rules for everything. Everything has a formula. I didn't really understand algebra till I understood electricity. Because guess what? It was making sense now. When you see things that you need and you're able to use them for certain things to be accomplished, at least for me, they make sense. But when you're just going to school trying to figure out all these formulas for what, you don't really see the necessity in it, right? But when you start doing construction, that's why even with Yahweh being a carpenter, it tells you a whole lot. That's pretty much any trade and every trade that you could consider. It takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of studying, right? It takes a lot of hands-on. It takes trial and error. In carpentry, they said measure twice, cut once. If not, your budget is gonna, your customer is not gonna be too happy because your budget, you're gonna have to go up and increase it. People are gonna be like, man, now you know what? I got this guy right here. He does great work and he charges less. So this is a thing of pattern with works, with a pattern with life, right? So this is what it says in regards to strong brick. It says is defined by proper burning. By proper burning. The way I put this lesson together, I was just thinking, brick by brick. A brick, I look at it as an offering because that's what it is with our works. I could put in a lot of work, right? But if my works, my intentions are foul, are wicked, are here to try to gain on the people, gain on whatever it is, then guess what? I'm one of them weak pieces of material at the end. According to the Most High, he's like, nah, you're no good for me. Because we're going to read in a minute how it says, he's already telling us here, be the more in my absence. Meaning you make sure that you don't skip steps, that you don't, right? The Most High says, my balances are just. The balances of the balance of the Most High, the weights of the Most High, they're just. So it's like, don't skimp on the product. Don't skimp on the material, right? Don't cut no edges. Don't cut no corners. I mean, the same thing with good material. So it says a good strong brick is defined by proper burning. Go to Isaiah. You ain't got to go, but thinking about Isaiah, what is it? 48 and 10. It says that we're going to be tried, right? We're tried through the fire of affliction, if I'm not mistaken. Basically, we're proven through affliction. That's what the scripture says. So that's what I was looking at, right, with the bricks. So it says proper burning, low water absorption. It can't absorb too much. It can only do 20% of what its mass is, right? I'm looking at the waters and the revelations, and trust. Don't take this for doctrine, but this is how my mind is moving, right? So I'm looking at the many waters, these many lies that are coming through. You're able to deflect these things. They'll come in, like, you see your kids, maybe they go to school. When they come back from school, you got to delete all that memory, all the negative things that they absorb right now through the system, right? Or better yet, don't send them to them schools. But guess what? We in the realm, we in this place. We're going to be amongst them impurities, amongst them threats. Because the bricks, they're supposed to create a building, right? And they're supposed to protect from the exterior elements, right? Whatever's inside. So that's why it says it could only, within an hour, is able to pretty much dry up and only soak up 20% of whatever water is coming through and penetrating or coming into contact, right? Then it says, and high compressive strength. So meaning it's got to go through, I think it's 5,000 PSI is able to withstand. Because you put brick on top of brick on top of brick on top of brick. Imagine the brick, you skimp the material, and it's hollow in the middle. That's why somebody that's building, they got to check the material before building it, if they care about the structure, right? The same thing with us. Going back to the offerings. Before we bring an offering unto the Most High, we gotta make sure that because we're the ones that are going to be the offering at the end, right? Present yourselves a living sacrifice. We're on point. We've been tried properly. We're able to deflect these lies. When they come in, we're able to use discernment, right? And make sure that, like the scripture in Thessalonians says, only hold that which is good. All the other stuff, let it run off, right? So it says these traits depend on pure raw materials, just going to, the sincere spirit that we're supposed to have. Correct shaping and intense clean curing. Anybody that knows about masonry, you understand how things got to cure properly, because no matter how much work you put, if the mix ain't proper and you don't cure it the proper way, it's going to be weak at the end. It's going to crack. You go ahead and have people come in after you lay some steps and you didn't let it cure properly, it's gonna crack. It's gonna shatter. You got something?
Yeah, I just want to just kind of bring it down to earth. It's sad because the parables or the allusions to like these type of skilled work, for the most part, I'm not gonna say all Israel, but like you look in the hood and stuff like that, like a lot of our people are not really mentally trained for that type of stuff. So I could see why it's like what the algebra aspect, the mathematics, the doing everything by precision. That's just a mentality we got to get back to, because that's part of the higher learning of governing your society on a local, state, and federal level.
Yeah.
That's something that unfortunately we were miseducated in.
And that's what, remember, we read that in during the new moon, as far as, the little excerpt in Babylon to Timbuktu. We had everything from dentists to, masons to carpenters, electricians. When you look at Granada, for example, Granada, where the Moors lived, which was, our people, Israelites, in Iberia or in Spain, that was the first place that they were able to have lights till midnight, street lights. You ever get a chance, visit, or just look it up, and you'll see that those were your forefathers way back in the day, with the ability and the skills to have these places. Because again, Jeremiah 29, right? We're supposed to have all of that, but at the same time, within the cities, we're supposed to rule the cities. Because guess what? You have the fields, you're supplying from the fields to your own cities, and you got that cycle going. Everybody has a skill, right? Everybody has a position in office. So this is how you got to look at it when, we're referring it to this evening as in putting your own brick by brick. But it's your own talent, your own office, your own skill. So let me finish with this right quick. It says material manufacturing quality is supposed to be pure composition. The composition, it says, is made from uniform clay or a precise mix of sand and lime, free of stones, pebbles, and excess salts. So only the necessary stuff, which when you relate it to scriptures is the same thing. Hold fast to that which is good. Everything else, don't worry about it. Don't consider it. It says, even firing, properly burn in a kiln to achieve a deep, uniform red or copper color without weak underburn or brittle overburnt patches. The way I see that is like the most high doesn't give you anything that you cannot bear, right? So he says, I'm going to try you through affliction, and I'm going to make sure that you become purified through affliction. But I know every single one of you guys. I created you. So he's like, I'm only going to give you exactly what you're able to bear. To you, it might seem like too much, but he's the creator. He created you. He knows what you're able to bear. He's the master builder, right? He's the he's the one that he's the architect. He got the whole formula, blueprints, everything. But we forget that sometimes. Nah, there's just too much. It's like with your kids. You'll be all right. Nah, mom, I can't do it. Trust me, you're going to be all right. And you give them those encouraging words. You help them, through it. Because that's what he says. He's going to help you through it as well. But he's only going to help you through it, through that affliction, through that trial, through that tribulation, if you believe in him. If you don't believe in him, forget about it. You're already lost. Just like with you and your parents. You're like, you know what? My dad, all he wants is the best for me. So guess what? I'm going to follow through with it. I'm going to follow through. Moms, you know what? And unfortunately, that's not usually the case, but that's that's how it was supposed to be. Abba, he tells us, man, I want an expected end for you. You do your part, I got you. But if you disobey me, guess what? Whenever you and going through these trials, through these tribulations, it's not going to be me that helps you. So again, it's a balance, right? Then it says high density, compressed tightly under high pressure or heat, so the internal structure is compact and smooth. Physical and mechanical trades. It talks about the whole formula as far as how much it could withstand. So it says typically withstands heavy loads from 7 to 50 plus, preventing cracks under weight, low matter. Absorption, it says absorbs less than 20% of its dry weight and water after soaking for 24 hours, stopping moisture from weakening the wall, right? Then it talks about the shape, sharp rectangular shape, features straight edges, square corners, and flat faces without warping or bulging. So again, the way I'm taking it is how the Most High is testing us, how he's giving us every instruction, how he's giving us always a heads up of what to do, what not to do, how to process your thoughts, what kind of thoughts you're supposed to just put in submission and completely get rid of. Again, because you're part of the structure, you're part of the building, you're part of building this nation. part of building the church, right? Part of building the family structure. Everything we do it goes back to building. Whatever it is we're doing, we're building, we're building, we're building. You up here in your scriptures, you're building, right? Your knowledge, your scriptures, the way you're able to, navigate to be able to help you through whatever it is that you're going through on a daily basis. But if you only have this and you just have it for looks, it's not gonna help you. It's like going into again the field, the what do you call it, the construction field. You have the whole manual, you have all these books on how to do it and build everything, but you're just gonna wing it. You're gonna wing it, you're not gonna, figure out the environment, because you got to take the environment into consideration. You know, certain installation for electrical here in Cali is different than in New York, or Russia. Why? Because you got to consider the elements. That's the same thing with the word right here. So going back to this, it says abounding the more once I'm not there, right? So it says always staying in compliance, solid, not half stepping, right? Not being double minded, double hearted, fake. So I don't mean, I'm going to just act a certain way in front of my people, but I'm going to be a completely different person as soon as I'm, away from them. Yeah, exactly. Out of sight. So it says, other part was, see what I want to cover. Workout. Actually, not. 24/7, right? Being the same individual 24/7, maintaining that integrity. Let me get Colossians 2. Let's go to Colossians 2, and we're going to read 4 through 8. And this is where, sometimes I'd be having conversations with brothers and sisters like, oh, you know what? It's difficult because it's just me and my wife. It's difficult because it's just me alone. I mean, it's difficult here amongst the body. We have a lot of people that we could fall back on. But guess what? When them thoughts and that negative spirit walks into you and you allow it into your vessel, it don't matter. Because what happens usually when people are going through things? We've seen it, right? Time after time. You know what? I'm going to just walk away. I need some time off. You'll see me when you see me. They don't pick up the calls. People check in on them. And this is, in a sense, worst case scenario. So it doesn't matter. And then I've seen people with more diligence and more faith in different states, different countries by themselves. Maybe by themselves, or maybe perhaps with a spouse, or perhaps with them and a kid or two away from the body. So we cannot use this as an excuse where, since I'm away from the body, yeah, it's going to be more complicated. But at the end of the day, it's on you. Because if you're loyal to the Most High and you're, focused on your integrity, no matter where you're at. Brothers got locked up. They had to stay on point. Brothers were on their own on missions. They had to stay on point. Sisters, you see sisters going through certain things. You know what? I got to stay on point. And if I got to face death, well, so be it. But if the Most High is going to, save me at the end, either way, I'm going to stay solid and I'm going to stay faithful and I'm going to stay loyal to the Most High. No matter what it was that was presented to him. Even when other brothers, them wicked Israelites were plotting, right, and trying to set people up because things didn't go their way. And you got to look at that. That happens. And God forbid it's you that you're going through it. But if it is, guess what? Just repent while you're able to repent. Don't let your ego overpower you. Don't let your pride overtake you to the point where you just like David in the situation that he faced. Nah, you know what? What am I going to do? You know what? Bring him through. I'm going to have him come back. I'm going to get him a little drunk and I'm going to send him back home. I'm going to give him some time off. I'm going to give him some paid time off. So, he winning. You're trying to buy people, right, that you've offended because of your wickedness, creating and trying to shape a reality, which is nothing but wickedness, right? So that's why it says, don't be ignorant in that sin to sin, acting like, what I didn't get caught up. If I do this, I'm going to be straight. No, that's not what it is. Get that right quick, Ak? Book of Colossians 2 and 4.
And this I say, lest any man should beguile you with enticing words. For though I may be absent in the flesh, yet I'm with you in the spirit.
So this is the same message, right? So he's telling you, do not get fooled. Because remember, the scriptures talk about sheep and what? I mean, wolves and what? Sheep's clothing, right? Wicked individuals that appear to be righteous. Okay. So read it from the top again, Ak.
And this I say, lest any man should beguile you with enticing words.
So he's giving you a heads up already. Not only this scripture, but so many, right? But I like this because it's also talking about him not being present. And him could be anybody that you are loyal to, that you're under, right? And by that loyal, I mean because the individual is loyal to the Most High. Because that's what people think too. Like, you know, why should I be anything to anybody? Why shouldn't you? Christ did it. The apostles did it. Our forefathers did it. Their sons, their righteous sons, the righteous kings did it. And when they slipped up, those that slipped up and realized it and repented, they let you know, listen, don't do this. Don't do this. Because when you go against the Most High, guess what? It's not going to be a good outcome for you. And not only for you, but you're also your generation. Because it goes hand in hand. If you're righteous, not only you are going to be blessed, but also your descendants are going to be blessed. You guys can see, I think it's the book of Ezekiel 16, where it talks about when, you know, people get caught up. Well, what if my daddy was wicked? The bishop said something deep last week. He's like, you guys don't focus on legacy because you look at your forefathers and be like, man, you know what? I don't come from much. Well, guess what? Create it, because you do come from much. We come from these people right here. We come from the righteous people, right? And unfortunately, some of us also come from the wicked individuals. But what's going to make you and your path different? If you understand it, right? And if you go ahead and repent and turn back unto the Most High, because that's what he says in Jeremiah 2:12 through about 13. He's like, man, listen, only acknowledge your sin and turn back unto me. Be right, and I will not be upset at you ever again, as long as you stay steadfast and loyal to me. So read that from the top again. All right?
And this I say, lest any man should beguile you with enticing words.
So you got to watch out, because people will come through, present their case, and finesse you. You know, Israel, we good at that, and we good for it, right? And guess what? Since an individual has a certain reputation, you're going to fall for it. Well, you know what? This brother here, well, you know what? This sister here, don't let that love overpower the truth. Don't let that love blind you to not be able to see the truth. That's why before you move, you got to use discernment. You can't be quick to act. You can't be quick to credit. You got to watch and be like, hold up, this doesn't sound too on point. Let me go back and you know, try to see what's up with, if the brother's been cool, the sister's been cool, or something going on. Are they going through something? Because if you're locked in and if you're sober and you're vigilant, you should be able to see and detect. Sometimes it might be something that, you know, you're probably just overreacting, but guess what? It's better for you to double check than to just fall into a trap. So it says, do not get caught up. Go ahead. So beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy, and what else?
For though I be absent in the flesh, yet I am with you in spirit,
Uh-huh.
joying and beholding your order and the steadfastness of your faith in Christ.
I jumped down to like enticing words. So it says, read 5 again.
For though I be absent in the flesh,
Mhm.
yet I'm with you in the spirit,
Uh-huh.
joying and beholding your order.
Look at that. That's what we should be. I know that's how I feel when I'm like, okay, brother, this is what, in a different state, in a different country. They're locked in. Because you see when people are locked in. And then you also see when people are trying to, you know, figure you out, and maybe perhaps you see it. You see it on messages. You see it on messages. And if you're on the other side of this camera, really understand that just because we keep law, we're not soft, we're not ignorant, right? You got to respect the fact that people, your people, are trying to abide and be obedient to this law. So by you trying to come up and gain through deceit, trust me, the Most High is going to get you. Because you could get me today. You might get me with some monetary aid that you probably would just, finessing a Jake for. But guess what? The Most High sees your intentions and he will get you. You might get us. You might get the congregation. Whoever. The Most High says, be careful when you try to come against any of my children. That's just crazy because, sometimes our people come from the world so they don't know no better. I try to be as blunt as possible. Like, listen, let's go to Sirach 12 right quick. I'm able to help you if you help yourself by being obedient unto the Most High. But if I help you and you're disobedient, and I put myself in jeopardy as well. When we have this understanding, people should grasp it and hit them with Sirach as well. But guess what? If you're going to add sin unto sin, don't fool yourself because the Most High is going to get you. It might not be today. It might not be next year. But trust the scriptures, he will get you. When we understand that, guess what? You will be judged by your actions, by the words that you utter. At the end of the day, if I'm having good intentions, if I'm out here trusting you, I'm trusting you from the actions and the works that you're supposedly doing. That's what Paul's saying right here. So he's saying, for though I be absent in the flesh, yet I'm with you in the spirit, joying and beholding your order. Right? Go ahead.
And the steadfastness of your faith in Christ.
If we all be on point and we on top of things, right, and handling our part of the deal, that's how we get up out of here. Because guess what? You're happy. On one end, the individual that's able to help is happy. The individual that's being helped is happy. And I don't mean the happiness of the world. Again, you're happy because you're obedient unto the Most High. You know that the Most High got your back, no matter what presents itself, right? The Most High is going to come and aid you in due time. Might not be the time that you expect and want, right? But guess what? In due time, he's going to come and get you when you least expect it, which is when you need it the most. But when I'm trying to come up on the brother, when I'm trying to come up on the sister, man, that leaves a bad taste in the nation. And that's what you got to understand. Every brick, every work that you do is going to count at the end of the day. And it's not only going to count on Judgment Day, but it's going to count on the type of life that you're going to experience while you wait, whether it's death and then judgment, or maybe if you see, you go straight into Judgment Day. Either way, it's going to affect you. And it's not only going to affect you, but it's going to affect everybody around you. And also it's going to slow down the process of us getting up out of here, which is hella selfish and it's wicked. It's not good. Continue on. All the way to 8.
As ye have therefore received Christ Jesus the Lord, so walk ye in him.
It's not a joke. It's not a game. Maybe the church, because you were Catholic, because you were Christian, Mormon, whatever, right? Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventist, Baptist, Pentecostal, you name it, the list goes on. This is not that. This was never intended to be that. This is the works of the Most High. This is Abba's business. This is Yahweh's business. It's not a game. If you're going to play with it, you're going to get played at the end. You're only playing yourself at the end, right? Most High said, listen, I'm giving you this apostle. This apostle's letting you know, right? As ye have therefore received Christ, Yahweh Shai, right? Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, our King, so walk ye in him. Be like him. You want to be Christ-like, then walk like he did. Act like he did. Talk like he did, right? Think how he thought. Operate in every possible way. And if you're not knowing on how he acted, how he moved, then go back and read the scriptures. Everything is here. Everything is here because it was written of Yahweh Shai from the beginning in the book of Genesis all the way down to Revelations. That's all him because he represents wisdom. He represents righteousness. He represents peace, security, all the things that we're searching for, success in righteousness. Everything that we want, he represents it. So all you got to do is be like him, walk like him, and you're going to be all right. Go ahead. Look at this part right here.
Verse 7, rooted and built up in him.
Rooted and built up in him. That's why he says, the more in my absence. That excuse, well, I'm the only one here. I'm going through it. The scriptures tell you, know yourself. Know the wickedness, right? Know the things that are wicked to your mind, wicked to your heart, right? Know your lusts. Examine yourself. So now, if you know drugs, you have an issue with drugs, you have an issue with women, females, you have an issue with men. Whatever issues you have with, whatever troubles you, right? What should you be doing? Staying away from it. That easy. The Most High tells you what to do. Stay away from the congregation of the dead, right? Because guess what? If you are a part of that congregation, you're one of them. You consort with your kind. If you're trying to be righteous, you're going to be amongst righteous people. If there's nobody around you that's righteous immediately that you know of, guess what? You send them up. But nowadays, through the camera, through this tube, you got plenty of classes all throughout the day. You have apps where you could just go ahead and play scriptures throughout the day. You have Bible AI now that you could watch characters of your kind, Israelites, right? That you could sit back and have a better understanding, because all praises to the Most High, He's used all these things to aid us in our captivity while we serve our time. So there's no excuses. But guess what? A wicked individual is going to make an excuse for himself or for herself. So that's what you got to analyze, because that's what it is. So it says, rooted. If you're walking in Christ, then now you're rooted and built up in Him. Go ahead.
And established in the faith.
Man, those words is heavy. Rooted, built up, right? And established. Good materials, good construction, good structure, right? And it's in the spiritual realm, it only gets better and better. So if you're getting better spiritually, guess what? The scripture said, if you focus in the things of, the kingdom of heaven and the heavenly things, everything else is going to follow. But we forget that. Sometimes we don't even forget it. Low key, we don't even believe it at all. And you can see it in how people act and how they move, the actions that they take, which is sad. But guess what? That's part of it. It's not for everybody. Talks about it right here too. We're not going to get there, but go ahead. Rooted and built up in Him and established in the faith as what?
As ye have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving.
Abounding therein, being content and thankful that you have what you have. You could be poor or whatever, right? Physically, materialistically, but guess what? If you have the Most High and you really about His business, that don't even affect you. You're like, you know what? Hey, I'm going to be good. Because He already said, if these birds eat, these fowls eat, he gonna make sure I eat. That's only when you believe it, though. Go ahead, finish it up.
Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men and after the rudiments of this world, and not after Christ.
It's sad because the Bible's been used for all of that. You got people here falling off the truth and going and talking about, you know what? I suggest to other people, you should go to church. I think it'd be good for you. Come to church with me. Wow. Come to church with me, but you left the congregation. Come to church with me, but you're gone from keeping these commandments, and you're not keeping commandments wherever it is that you're supposedly going and gathering to seek God. But that's the problem. That's what happens. Because guess what? That's what we create. We create this false narrative in our head, and due to our wickedness and our wicked lusts, we create this matrix. We're already part of a matrix, and we create another matrix in our head, a little bubble where we're righteous individuals. Because perhaps we go to, a little service every now and then. That little feel good. Most High's like, nah, that's not it. That feel good now and then is not it. The scripture said right now, make sure you're the more obedient in my absence. So that right there, it shows you the contradiction with all these religions. One, they're not even keeping law. They're not teaching you about your heritage, about your nationality. They're not doing anything according to these scriptures. But the only thing they're doing for sure is giving you what? The traditions, and setting you what? Under the rudiments of the world and not after Yahweh Shai. So going back to workout, and I'm still on Philippians 2:12. So we're going into, working out your own salvation. So the part of working out. So it says work out. When you go to the concordance, it talks about perform, to finish, accomplish, to work fully. What are we known for in Israel as a nation? Plenty of ideas, right? Plenty of business plans. But do we usually finish, right? To work, like to accomplish, to fulfill? We don't.
Yeah.
That's how.
Yeah, it's just a lot of those obstacles as far as like, the vision or the idea is like, oh, it's so great, but the actual concrete completion of it, especially in captivity, in captivity, they made it that much harder, but it still could be done. Yeah, it's
When we apply the
hard,
principles of the Most
right?
High, what happened to the 2 points the brother has brought out this evening, that's part of the trap. He says in Psalms, he says, man, I'm aware. The one is wear out the saints. That's not in Psalms, but in Psalms 83, it talks about they plot together, right? You have a lot of people, even amongst Israel. Go back to your land. If Mexico's so great, why are you not in Mexico? If Central America is so great, why don't you go work out and build Central America? Negating the facts that, guess what? Who came and destabilized these countries? Who was in Central America for years, for decades? Who was in Puerto Rico for years, for decades, using people as cheap labor, killing people, killing the natives, the ones that look more to what we read about in the scriptures, whitewashing the communities, taking all the resources, right? Not only that, but creating conflicts with the same people to kill each other, to go against each other. That's Psalms 83. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and do your due diligence and you'll understand. People are fleeing from Venezuela. I heard some dude talking today of the helpers that have gone out there to help, the people from the quake. The Venezuelan government, he said, they're not doing anything for the people. They're actually taking organs. They're quick to get the bodies, to sell the organs, right? And I mean, think about it. Who went up in there? Who went up in there? They went and took, because a lot of these governments is messed up anyway, but these are products of, guess what? Babylon. That great individual that everybody's always asking, what about the white man? What about Esau? What about Edom? What about Edom? It tells you there's no more, and there's no other individual on this earth worse or more profane than this person. And if you want to be successful in this place, guess what? You got to play with them. You got to be with them. And that's what you start seeing with these countries, these tariffs. Oh, bet, you know what? It was Venezuela and Mexico helping a little island out here on the side of Florida, right south of Florida. They say, you want to continue to help them? I'm going to hit you with tariffs. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna just leave you alone. There's a genocide being committed right now on the island of Cuba, but guess what? We don't see it. We don't see it like that. The same thing that happened in the 70s and the 80s, the crack epidemic here in South LA. This is continuously happening by the same individual. And we don't realize it because we're so caught up with the limitations. I remember somebody, it was a Jake, with that individual that got shot, supposedly. What was his name? Charlie Kirk. And he was out here. I forget exactly what the whole point was, but he was out here like, I'm one of the minorities. I made it. Why do you think I made it? And he's like, because you put some effort into it, I'm going to take it. Maybe because you saw, right? Okay. But the Jake was coming in like, why are you even saying that we have lesser chances? Jake. But that's what it's been. Why did they destroy these communities, these banking systems that we had? Whether you're black, whether you're indigenous or so-called Latino, right? Because we didn't even go by that term back in the day. But Israel, an Israelite. No matter what it is that you go into, when you try to build for your people, they come. Because you got to understand, we in captivity. But the whole point is that when we do focus and be obedient to the Most High, a quick reference, Judith 5:17, he's like, guess what? I'm going to have your back. But when we out here making excuses, and instead of using the manual to fulfill and accomplish what it is, Joshua 1:8 tells you directly, you do this, everything will be successful. Everything that you put your hands to will be a success. Everything, if you do according to all that is written here in these precepts, right? But this, even us as Israelites, you know what? I'm going to do this, but I don't know about that part. So then if you don't know about that part, guess what? Are you going to be successful? Nope. Because you got to do it all. You can't be lazy and be knowledgeable in the scriptures. No, you got to have a nice balance, a righteous, a just balance. Because imagine you got the knowledge, right? Now you're in a position of rulership, or in a position of not so much rulership, but authority, right? Okay. So now guess what? Our people don't know what to do with authority. The majority of our people. That's what you call it. Oh, look, he's power tripping. They put our people in certain jobs, warehouse jobs, whatever job. Oh, look at this Jake. The worst individual in that company is going to be a Jake that looks just like you. He's the one that's going to try to overwork you. Kiss the behind of the enemy. Nothing different than them days in the plantations. It's been the same thing, whether you're so-called brown or you're so-called black. It's always been the same. But guess what? We're looking at each other as if we're enemies when we're not enemies. But that's part of these scriptures. It says your eye will be evil towards your brother, right? The sister's eye was going to be evil toward her husband and the babies that she was blessed with. How you're able to go, how are you going to be able to see a nation? How are you going to be able to build a nation when you're not even handling your duty as a mother with your own babies? You're failing them and you're failing the whole nation. But guess what? In your eyes, it's like, hey, I'm going to chase my happiness. I'm going to chase my happiness has also been a part of that plot in Psalms 83. The Willie Lynch letter. Although a lot of people don't believe in the Willie Lynch letter, guess what? It's been in full effect. And it's been a success for every single heathen in every single place of the world where Israel dwells. Because we're the only ones affected the way that that system, right? All those systems that is laid out in that letter, right? We're the only people that are affected by them. Back in the day, it was a caste system. Now it's a status. And be like, where are you? It all connects. It's the works. That's the whole point. Put in your brick. If we all put in our brick, then the Jake doesn't gotta be what they say, the jack of all trades. Be like, damn, Mark, aren't you a part of this department, that department, that department? Yeah. Why? Because the laborers are few. And that goes back to us. Man, but you know what? I see a couple of bodies here. What are they doing? Ask them. I don't know. Well, tell them. You can't force anybody. That's the whole point that you got to understand. You cannot force. If the Most High, the laws, the scriptures, the curses, and the blessings don't motivate you, what am I going to do? That's just another Jake right there. He don't even know what he's talking about. They're going to go quickly and point out your flaws. So that's the whole point. We have hate amongst each other. And I'm talking about within the so-called woke or the so-called, nation that's within the truth, that's walking this walk. So many different terms, those that are in the truth, for lack of better terms. We gotta look at how to be better. How is it that I'm able to help? And for a moment, when you bringing up a company, right, when you're setting up, you're not going to have enough bodies to cover everything. That means, yes, you're going to having your own business. You're going to have to do everything, be the accountant, be, the bookkeeper. You're going to have to be the employer, the employee, every single thing. The one that, gets the resources. You're going to have to do it all. But guess what? That's only going to make you better. And that's the point. Right now we're here. We're growing. If you're stagnant, if you're not doing anything for the people, anything for the building of the nation, then you got to check yourself. And if you're doing works and you have wicked intentions, you got to check yourself. We got to always be on point with these works because the Most High says, listen, if you're on some BS, your works is going to come to naught, to nothing. And you will be a spectacle. You will be in front of everybody going to see that because that's a fact. Any wickedness, any negative dealings, unrighteous dealings that you're partaking of, right? There will be brought out in front of the people. That's a saying even in the world. Everything's gonna come out, and you going, when you least expect it, it's going to hit you. That's how the Most High says when when you feel like you're stable, you've made it, and your comfort, he says, bam, that's when I'm gonna hit you. That's why it's better for us to correct ourselves, self-correct before we get corrected by others, before we get corrected by the Most High, right? So let me have Philippians 3:13 through 14. And this is going into the workout. Again, perform, to finish, accomplish, to work fully. Again, right? So you got to fully execute the follow through. Like the brother was saying, sometimes the captivity that we in and the need and the lack, we'd be like, you know what? I'm going to look into this. I'm going to look into that. How about you just focus on one thing? Elder folks will tell you, listen, don't get caught up with too much. You're running yourself thin, right? No, do this. And then when you accomplish and master that, or you have a good, understanding of that, guess what? You're going to be able to do better in the next thing that you want to approach. But make sure you follow through. When you follow through and you accomplish it, that's what the workout is telling you that's what it represents. You got to perform. You got to finish, to accomplish, to work fully. Go ahead and get that. 3 and 13 through 14.
Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before.
What did he say right there? He says, forgetting what?
He said, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before.
So that's what we also fail in a whole lot of times. We think about our past. We go back to our old men, right? Old self. When the Most High is, listen, he's telling you. He's telling you through these apostles. He's telling you through these righteous brothers, right? He's like, man, look, whatever was in the past, let it go. I heard somebody say this week, they were like, you know what? And their mama told, it was a female. She said, my mom said, what is it? Not grudges. What's another word for a grudge? Nah. It's another one. It's a feeling. Basically bitter, right? Being like bitter. It's another word, but basically the fact that you hold grudges, you become bitter, you stay bitter, right? When you have that mentality, who's it affecting? That's it. Yourself. She said it's like drinking a cup of poison and expecting it to affect someone else. But you drank that mug. So that's what it is. Bitter, or anything that's negative. You allow it to rest in you, it's only going to mess you up. It's only going to affect you. You're stuck in the past. Man, this brother did this to me 5 years ago. Damn, 5 years ago? How many atonements is that? How many feasts is that? And you still feel some type of way? You're destroying yourself. Maybe you already destroyed, but so caught up that you think that, you're still in the works, that you're still, conducting Abba's business. The scriptures tell you before you come to any feast of the Most High, make sure you settle whatever issues you have with anybody, right? You come every Sabbath. Every Sabbath is a feast of the Most High. So it says every week, make sure you have no beef with nobody. Make sure you're on point. Whatever it is you got going, man, make sure you forget about it. Read that from the top again,
Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, But this one thing I do,
Mm-hmm.
forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before.
Uh-huh.
I press towards the mark.
I what?
I press towards the mark.
Meaning I'm working it out. I'm trying to accomplish it. I don't want to be, you know what? I was in the truth for about 2 decades, but I used to be an Israelite. That's stupid. You're hella ignorant when anybody that's ever said that. And I know sometimes perhaps you had, a realm that wasn't the best. But either way, is a dumb statement. Because that's why, like I said, there's no excuses. The Most High, this is not something that I'm saying. This is what the Most High said. There's going to be no excuse. Because that could have happened to you a couple years ago. And guess what? Now you click on and you see somebody and you're listening. Different congregations throughout the world. You got congregations that are not even on social media. That's one, too. It's those are resentment is what the sister said. That's a good one. Resentment, grudges, all that stuff. And it's not only that, anything that's going to affect you, even anger, right? Because that's what a grudge is. When you hate anything that you bottle in, all of that is only affecting you. And that's what the brother's saying right here. Listen, all of that, leave it alone. That's why the Most High Son was like, man, 7 times 70. What do you mean 7 times 70? Because if you get stuck on that, you're not going to be able to handle my Father's business. Imagine how Yahweh Shah was done. And before he gave up the ghost, he said, Abba, please forgive them, for they don't know what they do. That should say a lot. The same brother that says 7 times 70, man, again, and we out here, you know what? He looked at me a certain way. I think he said something about me. The hell with that, Jake. The hell with that, sister. But then we still in the same body. Anybody with that mentality is foolish, and your works are going to come to naught. No matter how much you might be in the front and the faces of somebody or many bodies, but if you still have issues with one individual, it doesn't count. That's according to scripture. Thus saith the Lord. Because he even compares it as being a murderer. If you have hate towards anybody of Israel, he's like, man, you are like a murderer. How you gonna expect? He says, how do you expect me to believe that you care for me when you can't even care for your own brothers that you're living with? Most High says, settle any issue you have, settle it. And if it cannot be settled, bring it to witnesses. If the witnesses, it can't be settled through witnesses, bring it to the congregation. And if you still don't want to do right, well, guess what? Part ways. If you have dealt with things like that, all praises. If you're not dealing with things like that, guess what? You're in error. And these works, you're not doing what it says. You're not working it out. You're not performing. You're not trying to finish. So he said, 14 from the top.
I press towards the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus.
Read that again. I what? And for what?
I press towards the mark.
We press. We're supposed to be pressing towards the mark, towards our goal, towards that finish line, right? Go ahead.
For the prize.
For the what?
For the prize.
We forget that, though. And like I said earlier, a lot of us don't even believe there's prices. Prize? Man, I'm going to go along with it, but I don't really believe that there's a kingdom for me. I don't really believe that I'm truly the chosen people. Be like, hold up. No, I'm not saying. You're not saying it, but your actions are showing exactly that. When you can't commit and put in your own brick on a daily, when you're not here thinking about, man, what can I do? How can I improve my life to be able to help the next Israelite, to be able to help in the building of this nation, to be able to help the getting out of this captivity and aiding in the Exodus, the second Exodus. When that's not your mentality on a daily, you don't believe. So that prize is far from you. And that's why the scripture says, man, what is it? Is Israel a homeborn slave? Because it seems like you guys is hella comfortable in this captivity. You love captivity. You love being programmed. You love this matrix, this fake food that's killing you. All these fake doctrines that are killing you, that are setting you back. Because you're not putting up no fight. You're just like, yeah, I'll take it. Give me some more. Bring it on, right? Nah, that's not what it's supposed to be. That's what he says. I press toward the mark for the prize of what?
Of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus.
That right there. He understood, because remember, he was persecuting. He did have that spirit about him from the jump. He's like, what? You're going against the Torah? Nope. I'm going to get rid of all these false teachers, false preachers, all these idolaters, right? That's how he saw it. So he had that spirit, he had that seal, but not according to the knowledge of Christ. And Christ came and spoke to him. And he says, nah, you got to do it like this. So he's like, I bet I'm going all out because and he says it. We're going to get that into, we're going to get into that in a minute. But let me finish this. So it says, again, I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of the Most High Yahweh in Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Right? So again, work out means you need to accomplish. Then it says your own, working out your own, right? Self. So your own self, putting your brick, your office, right? Your part. People be like, well, then that's really what I'm doing. I'm focused on me. No, but you got to focus on your part, on your duty, on your office, right? Of what? Of the whole body. You're part of the body. So yeah, you got to help yourself. You got to make sure you focus on yourself, because it says working out your own salvation. Then salvation talks about your own deliverance, preservation, right? Into being able to reap the benefits that the Most High has promised, right? To be able to be satisfied at the end of the day by what we read right now in 14. Those gifts that Yahweh Shai was able to reconnect us with Yahweh for us to be able to enjoy at the end of the day, right? So again, working out your own, yourself, putting in your own brick, salvation, your own deliverance, your own preservation, to be able to reap the benefits. So read 2 again, 2 and 12.
Philippians
Yes.
2 and 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
And you guys know the fear and trembling is with that all due benevolence, all that respect, right? That respect, because people are like, you know what? Yeah, I still have fear. Nah, bro, the fear you're talking about is not the fear the Most High is talking about. You're afraid of getting got. You're afraid of getting hurt, but you don't respect the Most High. Because if you respected the Most High, that fear that you're talking about wouldn't even exist. I remember the deacon, Kahan, way back in, the other down the block. Remember that quake? It was a Friday. It was a Sabbath class. I think it was a Sabbath. And the quake hit. And your son was out there like, oh, man. And then Tazarah was outside like, all praises to the Most High. Because guess what? The brother, one was new into the walk, and the other one had been around already. He understood like, man, Abba, bring the judgment. Because guess what? Through these judgments, unfortunately, that's the only way some Israelites are able to come back and understand, oh, you know what? God does exist. And unfortunately, nowadays, we so desensitized that not even that works for a lot of our people. But that's what the point, that's the point that the brother was making. All praises. I remember that conversation. You talk to Kahan, he remembers that day. He's like, man, now I see. Now I see why Champ said what he said. Because that's what it is. That means the fear of the quake was not what motivated anybody to be on point, right? But was the respect of the Most High. Because the Most High said, you respect me, I got you. And Matthew 24 tells you, guess what? There'll be wars, rumors of wars. There's going to be quakes. We've seen that all over the place. There's going to be famine. We're seeing it coming, right, to fruition. It's been going down. But guess what? If we trust in the Most High, we know He's going to make a way. If we do our part, all praises. If we do our part, right? Because that's how people like discredit the Most High. You're waiting on the Father God, right? Sky Daddy to come help you. Yeah, actually, He don't got to come down because I'm doing my part and He's already helping me, by the way. But some people don't understand. They see it from the religious point, the point of view of what they've been instructed in whatever church they're going to, whatever doctrine they're under. It don't make no sense. Which when you ask them something like that, it confounds them. Be like, you know what? Should I? I mean, my mom got put to death after she had cancer. I prayed to that white boy on my wall, but nothing happened. Of course, nothing happened. You're disobedient. Your mama more than likely was disobedient. Yeah, guess what? What had to happen happened. Sad to hear it like that, but that's the God that we serve. He's a just God. He's not a respect the person. So that means even if we're rocking fringes, have our head covers as females, dresses, as modest as you want to be, if your heart's still full of envy, full of wicked thoughts, and you just wicked, the Most High is like, man, all that doesn't mean anything. You got to be an inward and the outward Jew. You got to be righteous inside and out. Right? What did I tell you to get? Go to Thessalonians 4:11. So the brother read over again Philippians 2:12, where it says, "Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling." Go ahead and get Thessalonians 4:11.
1 Thessalonians 4:11.
Yes, sir.
That ye study to be quiet.
To what?
And that ye study to be quiet.
What a lot of our Hebrew Israelite men study for. At least what was it? Because it's changed a little bit lately, right? A lot of people got checked. A lot of people got exposed. But were we studying really to be quiet? Yay, nay? What did you guys see? So the scripture says, read it again from the top.
Thessalonians, 1 Thessalonians 4:11.
Uh-huh.
And that ye study to be quiet and to do your own business.
So that part right there. Unfortunately, guess what? Knowledge puffeth up. And I'm not saying, hey, silence. Don't go out and spread the word. No, first, what is it? Isaiah 58 says, cry aloud, spare not. Show my people their transgression, the house of Jacob their sin. That is a duty as a man. Psalm 78 tells you how to be a parent. You need to instruct constantly, 24/7, your little ones, right? Or the other generations, the younger generations. Right here, what he's telling you, he's like, make sure that you study to be quiet. Don't go ahead and just, as soon as you get something, try to go out there and try to, guess what? I'm gonna set up a debate. I'm gonna go out and try to battle and go at it with everybody and anybody. But yet I'm a piece of garbage in my own spirit. The scripture's telling you off the top, listen, read it from the top again, Ak.
And that you study to be quiet and to do your own business.
To do your own business. You have a congregation. You have people that are under you. Guess what? That should be the focus. You can't be all over everywhere and think that, because at that point, whether you're a female, you see the females. Females love doing that. They're everywhere. That's why the Most High says, listen, a righteous Israelite woman, she's supposed to be at home taking care of her house. Oh, that means we can't go. No, you could go out. The whole point is that make sure you have your house in order, then whatever follows. If your house is not in order, don't be a busybody out there with the comadre down the street, yapping right there, gossiping. Well, nowadays, you're just on FaceTime, gossiping about the whole world while your house is out of order. The same with the men is saying, listen, that ye walk, and that ye study to be quiet and do your own business. Go ahead, continue.
And to work with your own hands.
And to do what?
To work with your own hands.
To be a busybody.
To work with your own hands.
So he's saying, and that ye study, you need to study to understand, right? You need to study and show yourself approved. So it says, and that ye study to be quiet, absorb it, let it resonate. Because if you let it resonate, guess what? You're gonna move a little different. You're not gonna try to be like the rest of Israel, or at least how they used to be, how a lot of them still are. Because guess what? When we at the corners, they're like, oh, you one of them? Hold up, one of them what? Man, I don't know about you guys. Let's talk. What are you talking about? Man, this and this happened. Yeah, now guess what? Those are brothers. We're Israelites, so are you. But just like anything, not everybody is in order with these scriptures. Unfortunately, not everybody took the time to really soak it up, understand it, and make sure they left the old man behind, the old female behind, to become that new spirit, that new individual in Christ. Yes?
Yeah, I was want to say that part of the fundamental problem is people seeking their own glory, their
Exactly.
own vainglory, and promoting and publishing their own image, when it's like the Most High gives you a righteous name and a righteous image in His time and season, but people are literally actively out here trying to just like build it. Not that you're not supposed to do works to have a good name, but like it's like a thin line, between vainglory and
Yeah.
then studying to be quiet and doing your own work,
And again, that's another part of the trap.
Yeah.
Because guess what? They started with Hollywood. Now Hollywood's easy for us to access. They gave us YouTube, Instagram, all these other apps. Again, look at all the chaos that's happening from these apps, from these what they call them streamers, from these influencers. You fall into the trap of Satan. Guess what? I want to be an influencer in Israel. How about you be a righteous brother in Israel? How about that? How about you be a righteous sister in Israel? That's what you should be doing. Because guess what? If not, you fail. And you fell into the traps of Satan, into the clutches of the opposition. And now you're so lost because you've been everywhere. You forget. Guess what? Man, I was supposed to do this. Because it counts more when you do your work. The people that care the most for their people, they don't really, they go unnoticed half the time. They do the work. They don't expect any accolades. They just do it and keep it pushing. Because guess what? The one that matters is blessing them, and they know it. They know it. They don't need nobody else to come through and confirm it. They're like, you know what? I help wholeheartedly. I help out of sincerity. I help out of the love and the respect that I have for the Most High, and the respect and the love that I have for my people. And the Most High already said, guess what? You're gonna reap what you sow. And quietly, you're already reaping what you sow. And you keep sowing and you keep reaping. But unfortunately, we are products of this environment where we try to prove everything to the wrong people. And we do things for the wrong reasons. So then we end up on the wrong side, which is the side of Satan. And at the end, if we even realize it, because a lot of us don't realize it, we end up offending the whole community. We offend those little ones. Remember how Yahweh feels about offending them little ones. Man, it's scary. Well, guess what? We're so caught up, like the brother said, in our own chase. We want to, have this certain respect. But at the end of the day, we disrespecting the Most High and trying to gain that nonsense, because they don't really matter at the end. All that does not matter, right? So he says, and that ye continue on,
as we commanded you, and that ye may walk honestly towards them that are without.
Salak, I skipped the other part, right? And to work with your own hands as we commanded you. The work again. Not all work is good work. Not all building material is good building material. If you know about construction, we were out there doing, the things for Tila and the construction for tabernacles. My goodness. You'd be like, damn, Akim, that's what you did, man. So after spending hours at certain supply stores trying to find good wood, which is rare to come across, then you're dealing with the elements. It's like, man, and also with the limitations that you have. Guess what? Because not everybody's putting in their own brick. So we already have the odds against us, and then we create more odds for us, more stumbling blocks, more impediments, right? Instead of helping ourselves make it happen so we could follow through and accomplish what it is that we're setting our minds to. But guess what we do have plenty of? Opinionated people. We should have done it this way. We should have done that. If that was me, I would have done this. Yet not doing anything. That's crazy. But guess what? It's not nothing new. You come from the world, you come in here. Guess what? It's the same people. Don't be surprised. But help the cause. Help by you switching up your mentality and not being one of them. That way, guess what? It's Israel. We sheep. We're gonna follow him. It takes more time for us to follow the righteous patterns, the patterns of good works, right? But if more people commit to it, it's inevitable. Because if not, guess what? You're gonna stand out. And if you stand out, you're not gonna feel comfortable. So either you're gonna get right or you're gonna fade away. Right? So go from there. Was that you went all the way to 14? Nah, Salaki, read continue.
That ye may walk honestly towards them that are without, and that ye may have lack of nothing.
That had what?
That ye may have lack of
That
nothing.
you may lack everything.
That ye may have lack
So
of
see,
nothing.
when you put your brick, what every single one of us commits to doing our part, man, we're closer to the mark. We're closer, we get closer and closer to the goal. But if every time we're having conversations, meeting after meeting about how to fix the problems that we just created, man, take one step forward, but how many backwards, right? More than 10 sometimes. And it's like, wow, really? That all that progress for nothing. And we become a part of that scripture that says, man, what good is it if one builds and the other one destroys? Now, what are you talking about? Well, your actions are destroying the works that others have put forth and have put in. Again, it's self-examining. If we all do our part, it becomes easier. It's not impossible. We make it impossible. So he said, that ye may walk honestly. So now when you're doing, right, you're studying to be quiet and you're doing your own business, working out your own salvation with fear and trembling, right? And you're working with your own hands as that how Yahushua commanded them to command us, and we command the next generation. Then guess what? He says, now you're doing all those things and you're also walking honestly towards them that are without. Guess what? You're not going to lack anything. Because guess what? If I'm missing something, my brother got it. And if my brother ain't got it, the other brother got it. And not the only other brother, not only one, but plenty other brothers and other sisters. That's what Acts is talking about. When they sold everything and they were there and none lacked. It wasn't just materialistic things. It's just it starts up here. When your mind is on point, a billionaire will tell you, a millionaire will tell you, you know what? And one that wasn't just out of luck. One that actually built is strategized everything right, set everything up, and was able to get that first million. It's like, guess what? I was able to get my first. I lost it, but I know how to get the first. I know how I did to get the first. What I did, Salaki, to get the first. Now it's just a matter of time. That's how people that don't make excuses think. You got something?
Yeah, I want to also mention too, yeah, working with your own hands is important because we live in a culture today where our people have already had a history of uh essentially oppressing each other and scamming each other and not wanting to do, out of essentially laziness, slothfulness, and have somebody else do, the work that you should be doing.
Yeah.
So that's an important aspect to look at too, because that happens a lot in just the worldly aspect
You
of
know
our
what? In these
culture.
parables, you're able to understand a whole lot about the ants. But if you never sat back and look at ants and how they get down, you're not gonna understand what the scripture is saying. When you don't understand or know anything about husbandry, you're like, what? You know what? The hell with this lettuce. When you've been putting in work, watering, tilling, right? Making sure the weeds, taking care of the plant, make sure the pests don't come through, making sure you handle it in an organic, safe way so you don't poison your people, then guess what? More than likely, you're not going to forget to send them up before you eat. You're going to be thankful. You'll be like, man, Father, thanks for everything. Because you see the process, you're able to understand. It wasn't just magically placed there. You understand the work that it took and you appreciate, because easily the Most High could have hit it with the sun and dried it out. You would have had no harvest. But guess what? The Most High looked out and now he blessed. And that's the point. What I be saying with Jeremiah 29 scripture, because some people get caught up like, the city is not the wicked part. It's the mentality that we have. Because you could be in a household in the city, right? You see a lot. During the vid situation, I saw a lot of, what was it that they were cultivating? They were growing, what do they call them? Like all them little lettuces and stuff. It's a certain term that they use. I forget right now, right? But it was people. The nearest ones that I saw out here was like in San Diego, and they were going to and pretty much asking their neighbors for their little plot, backyard or front yard, and they were able to cultivate so much that they were making money. They were sustaining themselves off of that, and all that they gave their obviously they supply the water, they pay the water bill and all that, and they gave produce to the people. The neighbors, they were happy enough with having free produce, all organic. It's micro something, but the whole point is that you don't need too much. People think about acres. Trust me, working an acre is a whole lot. You see, you've been in the garden out here, even back when we were at the school. You don't need that much. If you know how to work it, now you have ways of doing the hydro situation, right? Growing with water, man, you grow a whole lot. So the whole point is not where you're at, but where your mentality's at. What are you doing with it? You got right here down in Compton, you have horses, you have chickens, you have roosters, you have, goats. You could pull up and go get your, organic eggs. People are making a living off of that. And not only that, sometimes you don't even need to slang anything, because guess what? As long as you provide for your family, you're good. But when you do have these things going for you, the elder just brought through peppers. Like, man, they just keep giving. All those peppers, the whole congregation could use them, and there's still abundance of it coming through every week. Off of what? A couple of plants. We only, 2-3 plants, and you have enough. I remember when we had the zucchinis and all that. Man, I used to give it away to neighbors, people I didn't even know, because it was that much. That was off of one set of people in one little plot. It just takes the willingness, right, and the discipline to handling that. Guess what? You're good. 2-3 households do, let's say, agriculture. You have the produce. Another household, 2 other households do, poultry, chicken, eggs. You got eggs for everybody. You got chicken for everybody, and so forth. But again, it's where are we? What are we doing with our time? And remember, everything connects. You know what? We got 2-3 solid plumbers, 2-3 solid electricians. Everything just flows. That's what nation building is. But again, some people got to take different tasks, because guess what? Everybody's that's there is not picking up the slack. And again, that just it don't work like that. Some people are able to make it happen, but it's just, if we have bodies, why are we here? Because remember, we're gonna be judged according to our works, right? So continue on up. Yes.
But
Nah,
I
12 was that's it. That's all I wanted. Go from there. Go to let me see what I want. Go to Ecclesiastes 5:1. I only have a few more. I don't know it was that late, but all praises, man. It seems like I might dwell on this message a whole lot, but it's necessary, Israel. It's necessary for us to really Because a lot of times we create we create excuses just because we failed. And then guess what? People don't really trust the fellow Israelite because guess what? You look at the patterns of certain people's works, it's like, you know what? You're just not ready for it. But you're not ready for it because you don't want to commit to it. If you look at our forefathers, the generation before me, you got people that were mojados, tres veces mojados, right? Is the name of the song. That's from Central America to the States. But you go to South America, you go to Venezuela, 5, 6, 7 best, 7 times a wetback. That's what that means. Meaning you had to cross all these borders with people. You'd be like, well, they were all Latin. Well, what's the big deal? Can you just go to any neighborhood right here and everybody gonna be friendly? So now imagine you coming illegally into a country. You got the government to deal with. You got thieves, wicked individuals to deal with. You got everybody you going against. But our people did that. That generation did that. They were not here like, well, what if? Now they're like, well, guess what? I got to make it happen. Our people were on them slave ships and they still here. They were in the plantations and they fought. They made it through. We're not even facing none of that, not even a fraction of that. But guess what? We're out here giving up before we even start. That's why we don't believe in each other. A good portion of us, like, nah, you know what? I don't think, man, I don't really have no faith. Because you look around, you look at the people, it shouldn't be like that. Israel, we're more than conquerors. Let's start conquering. And if we do that, we're out of here quicker, right? Go ahead, get that.
Ecclesiastes 5:1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God.
So it says, check yourself, right? Make sure you in order when you go into the house of the Most High. Go ahead.
And be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools.
Listen to that. So he's saying, whenever you go to the house of the Most High, we're in the house of the Most High, right? When we amongst each other. When we talking about this word, I mean, pretty much at all times, if it's us, because we're supposedly law keepers. So when we amongst each other now, this is how we're supposed to be acting. Read it from the top again.
Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God,
Mm-hmm.
and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools.
So it says, be more ready to hear. Be quiet, pay attention, hear before what? Instead of what?
Than to give the sacrifice of fools.
Instead of giving the sacrifice of fools, which is what happens to a lot of us. Again, opinion after opinion, idea after idea, nonstop, right? Yapping, but out here looking like fools. Read it from the top again.
Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God,
Uh-huh.
and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools.
Mm-hmm.
For they consider not that they do evil.
That's the problem. Yeah, I'm doing my work. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. But they can't even realize that they're doing evil. That's crazy right there. I just don't get it. Maybe I just don't see it the way you see it. Last I heard, weren't we supposed to be in one accord? So then now you're making excuses. Oh, it's just, I don't know, man. I'm going to pray to the Most High. Hopefully I see it the way you guys see it. That's wicked right there. That is a fool right there because it says, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of the Most High and be more ready to hear. Especially if you have people who are more experienced, people that have gone through things that you haven't even witnessed and probably won't. Right? It says, man, hold your tongue and be ready more to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. Remember, prayers are sacrifices. Words are sacrifices. The Most High says, with such sacrifices, the Most High is well pleased. But if these things are coming from fools, he's telling you, he don't like them fools. He don't deal with foolishness. He says, for they consider not that they do evil. So that's the point. If our bricks are foolish, are coming from a foolish individual, our works is coming from a foolish individual, the Most High is like, man, I'm not with that. That's not something that I desire or require. So that's why it comes to naught. Go from there. Get we're almost done. Get Ecclesiastes 1 and 4. That's not what I want. What is it? Hold up. It's gonna be Ecclesiastes, but I forgot which one it is. Let me see. It's about. What?
Yep. Ecclesiastes 5 and 4. When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it,
Mm-hmm.
for he hath no pleasure in fools.
He has what?
No pleasure in fools.
Remember, that's what the point the what was being said in Ecclesiastes 5 and 1. So it's like, keep your tongue before you say anything. Make sure you consider what you're saying. Because once you commit to it, you got to hold it down. What we don't understand is that, guess what? Our forefathers made a vow. And whether we believe it or not, we need to make that right. So read it from the top again.
When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it,
Mm-hmm.
for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay
Exactly.
that which thou hast vowed.
So we owe the Most High this labor. We owe the Most High our work. We need to be doing our work consistently and constantly on a daily basis. Because guess what? That's the vow that we committed to way back in the book of Deuteronomy. He says, everything that you say, we will do, Abba. We're there.
And
So
that's
we
a
have
law.
no choice.
I was saying that's a law too. Like that's part of
Yeah.
the law.
And that's the point. Again, remember when we read about, working out, to perform, right? To finish, to accomplish. That's the point. That's where we at. Because if not, the Most High considers us fools, and He says, I have no need for no fools. There's no need for in my kingdom, in my nation, for any foolish individual. Go to Ecclesiastic 7 and 1. Same book, 7 and 1.
A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth.
And that's the point. Having a good reputation, having a pattern of good works. You can be exceptional in one thing, but your character is trash. It don't matter. You could be the most gifted, knowledgeable individual. But if your character is trash, your reputation is garbage, you always flipping and tripping on everybody. Trust me, people they're not gonna respect you. They'll be like, yeah, he talks a good talk, but look at how he acts. Anything goes the opposite way of what he wants, man, or what she wants. Look at how she reacts. Look at how he reacts. This sister's immature. This brother's immature. I can't believe he's in the position he in. Who put him there? So now you're misrepresenting yourself. You don't understand that by you having a pattern of wicked actions, right? And things that are not just, you're misrepresenting the nation. You're misrepresenting yourself, your family, your household, the congregation, the Most High, Yahweh Shai, the Most High. So now people are looking at it like, man, that's the truth. That brother, that's what it's about. I'm cool. You have blood on your hands for not having a good reputation. And that's the part that we really got to examine. Go to Matthew 10. Ooh, I'm not going to get through it all, but read 10, Matthew 10 and 16.
Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves.
Go ahead. Keep reading.
But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they'll scourge you in their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles.
Keep going all the way to 22.
But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what you shall speak, for it shall be given to you in that same hour what you should speak.
So if we're reading this, why are we always trying to defend every single situation? We shouldn't even be placed place ourselves in a place where we need to constantly be defending our character, right? Because the Most High, through his son, he said, listen, behold, I will send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Maybe you're a wolf. Because he says, behold, I will send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. People be like, well, that's part of the game. Well, guess what? No. Being in a predicament is not part of the game, not the walk of the Most High. Being in a predicament is you not following through with the instructions. That's the problem. When you're always in a position where you got to defend yourself. Because if you're solid, you're straight, even when people say something, you're like, all right. Yahweh Shai said, thou sayest. And kept it pushing. He didn't really, put no mind to it. Because he's telling you right here, look, all these things are going to happen.
Yep.
Don't worry about it. Because when you're in that place, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to tell you what to say. Go ahead.
For it is not you that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you.
Go ahead.
And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child. And the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death.
So why are we tripping when we offended by some minimal type stuff? When the Most High's son said, listen, this is how it's going to be. And he still said, but listen, don't even trip. Because the Most High got you. If you go through these things, don't worry about it. Actually be glad, because guess what? You're doing something right. And depend on the Most High in the heat of the moment, send him up, and he's going to tell you exactly what to do. We could read it in 2 Maccabees with the mama and the 7 kids, the 7 sons. They were out there clowning them. Hey, people would have been like, nah, shh, quiet. Like, you know what? It is what it is. This is our fate right here. We're about to get put to death. As we get put to death, we know that tomorrow we're going to be sitting on the right hand of the Most High, because guess what? We were righteous. We were just. We were on point. And instead of bowing down, we took it like G's. That's it. That's how it's supposed to be. But if you are here frantic and, shook, Most High's like, man, I didn't give you the spirit of fear. That means something's bad. Something is out of alignment in you. Something that you need to correct. Take your time, correct it while you're able to. Right? Finish it up.
And ye should be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that endureth to the end shall be saved.
He that what?
He that endureth to the end
Follow
shall be saved.
through. Work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. Right? So that's the point, that you need to be steadfast. Make sure you work it all the way through, because if not, there's no point in whatever you did. Revelations 20 and 12 through 15. We're not going to go to that, but go get Sirach 5. And in Revelations 20, 12 through 15, it says that we're going to be judged according to our works. Again, we need to put in the work. So imagine, if you're not doing no work, you're already failing. But now you could be putting mad work, a whole lot of work. But if you're putting, work with wicked intentions, right? With the wicked mind, with, your own intentions, being selfish is not going to count at the end, no matter how much work you put in. So now Sirach 5, 4 through 6.
Say not, I have sinned, and what harm hath happened unto me? For the Lord is long-suffering, he will no wise let thee go. Concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin.
So it says, even if you go ahead and atone, don't think because you're atoning every year or perhaps fasting every now and then that the Most High is just going to forgive you. Magically forget about your character, forget about what you do consistently. Anytime that something happens, you start making an excuse. You start blaming character flaws. Most High's like, nah, man, you've had enough of that. You had enough time to get it correct. You still blaming and making excuses? I'm going to get you. Was that it? All the way to 6?
Verse 5. Verse 6. And say not, his mercy is great. He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. For mercy and wrath come from him, and his indignation resteth upon sinners.
Exactly. 2nd Ezra real quick. 2nd Ezra 4:33. So that's what he's telling you, man. Don't be fools, and don't fool yourselves in thinking that, you know what, the Most High is merciful. I know I slipped up, but all I gotta do is atone. Fast, pray, and I'm gonna be okay. No, because guess what? Then at that point, you're going and doing what the Most High said in the New Testament. Like, listen, now you're sinning willfully. Now you're atoning and all that. It don't really mean anything. Because it's low key like you're setting it up, planning. Like, man, if it goes through, then I'm good. But if it doesn't follow, if it doesn't go through, then guess what? I'll just go ahead and tell the people that I'm sorry, you know, play a little, act a little way, cry a little bit here and there, act remorseful. But in reality, my wickedness, the wickedness that I behold is still in me. Most High's like, nah, you a fool at that point. I got nothing to do with you. Go ahead and get that. Esdras 2. Second Esdras 4:33.
4:33. Then I answered, and he said, how and when shall these things come to pass? Wherefore are our years few and evil?
Mm-hmm.
And he answered me, saying, do not thou hasten above the most highest, for thou, 30.
Nah, 14, Salakia. 14:33. Salakia family.
Chapter 14:33. And now ye are here, and your brethren among you.
So this is where we at, right? Back then in the days of Esdras, now in this present day, we here. Due to our disobedience, we are where we at, right? So it says, now you're here, you and your brethren, go ahead.
Therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, ye shall be kept alive.
You hear this? Pay attention. So it says, therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understanding, whatever it is, your own emotions, your own feelings, if you subdue them, right? If you put them into captivity, if you get rid of them, then it says what?
And reform your hearts.
And switch your mind, your state of mind. You leave that old man alone and you become the new in Christ. Go ahead.
Ye shall be kept alive.
You shall be what?
Ye should be kept alive.
You will be kept alive. But look at what it says. Follow through with it.
And after death.
Hold up. How am I going to be kept alive? But then it follows through with after death. We skipped over Revelations 20 and 12. It talks about the second death. We don't have time. You guys could go back to it. It says this is the second death. And all those that weren't found in the book of the Most High, right, because of their works being wicked, they're all going to be thrown in that hell, in that eternal damnation. So that's why this follows through with confirming that point. It says, read that part again about being alive.
And reform your hearts, and ye shall be kept alive.
So if you're in order and in line with the Most High, doing and putting in your work sincerely, it says, ye shall be kept alive. And what?
And after death, ye shall obtain mercy.
So if you go through and you die, you will obtain mercy. Right? Go ahead.
For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared.
You see that? The works of the ungodly and the name of the righteous will be made manifest. That good record, that good reputation, that good name, worth more than expensive ointments, fragrances, right? Is that? Because right now it might not mean anything to us, but when we in that place, all of us gonna be there. Man, you're going to be looking back like, man, I should have just been on point. Instead of following my dreams and all the nonsense that I was, focused on, man, I could have just been obedient. It was that easy. But guess what? At that point, you're facing eternal damnation. Is it worth it? I don't think so. Finish it up with Revelations 14. And there was a couple of things I skipped, but Lord willing, in the future, we'll cover them. Revelations 14 and 12. The same thing that we just read in Esdras right now.
Revelations 14 and 12.
Yes, sir.
Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yahushua.
These are the individuals that remain steadfast, right, and endure until the end. They kept a pattern of good works. They focus on having a good reputation, on a good name. When things went left, right, and they were corrected, they took heed and they made it right. Go ahead.
And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors.
That they what?
That they rest from their labors.
So that's what we were talking about earlier. The earning, right? You follow through, understanding that you're going to have benefits. You're going to reap the benefits at the end. This is the book of Revelations. And this is what it's telling you. Blessed are the dead. Not all the dead, right? Read that again. Blessed are what? What dead?
Blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they rest from their labors, and their works do follow them.
That's it. If we put in our brick by brick on a daily, guess what? The Most High already confirmed it here. Plenty of places, right? But this is the book of Revelations. This is at the end when things is going down. And the Most High said, listen, this is what's going to happen. He heard the voice, and the voice said, right, blessed are the dead, which die in the Lord, right, which were obedient from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that ye may rest from your labors, and that your works do follow you, righteous works. And with that, we say shalom, and Most High willing, you guys continue to have a blessed Shabbat.
Man, ain't no telling where I've been. Mr. Wilson would've known. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me. So good to me. Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me. So good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking cheap, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be. Mr. Wilson would've known. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me. So good to me. Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me. So good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking cheap, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be. Mr. Wilson would've known. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me. So good to me. Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me. So good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking cheap, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be. Mr. Wilson would've known. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me. So good to me. Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me. So good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking cheap, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be. Mr. Wilson would've known. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me. So good to me. Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me. So good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me. So good to me. Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me. So good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me. So good to me. Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me. So good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Mr. Wilson would've known.
Can't nobody tell me